Time to talk American politics. And here, of course, as it is elsewhere, it's Sunday, the start of a new week. And while you might be worried about going into work tomorrow, just remember, no matter what happens, you're probably not going to have as shocking a week as Joe Biden just had. How bad was it? Well, here. Have a listen to him giving an inspirational speech about how everyone can do good in school.
We should challenge students in these schools to have advanced placement programs in these schools. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids, wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids.
Poor kids can be just as smart and talented as white kids? Oopsie. Okay, Joe. Anyway, that's not all. This week, Joe Biden also tried out a new slogan, which could be a winner for him this campaign. Here, have a look.
We choose truth over facts.
Truth over facts? Well, hey, who can argue with that? Put it on a T-shirt, put it on a mug. Who needs those pesky facts anyway? Anyway, at the Iowa State Fair this week, Biden also gave us a taste of his own version of the Green New Deal for farmers.
Your farmers out here can have an entire new life. They can be the first group of Americans to actually get carbon-free environment that they generate.
I got nothing. AOC, come back. You're starting to make a lot of sense. Anyway, not surprisingly, performances like this are leaving more than a few Democrats wondering if old Uncle Joe Biden has, shall we say, what it takes to go the distance. Personally, I'm just glad he's not driving himself to any of these campaign appearances. So where does this leave us? Well, Biden is still a force to be reckoned with. He's still leading in the opinion polls, beating Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, and then further down the line, Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg and everybody else. But he won't be for long if he keeps making the opposition's campaign ads for them. What's more, eventually people will start to notice that not even his old boss of 8 years, Barack Obama, has written him a letter of recommendation for the top job. If it's going to be a head-to-head between Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, then, well, she wins the nomination. The old socialist Sanders won't have an establishment candidate to run against, which is, forgive the term, his outsider status relies upon. And if things get really messy, well, you might just start hearing the words, draft Hillary. Just remember, you heard them here first. So, Joe Biden this week had a shocking week there. What did you guys make of some of that?
Well, didn't he also have a confrontation with a person who was taking him to task for this lie he keeps circulating about Trump, saying that there's good sides on both, and saying that, you know, there's good Nazis or good white supremacists. And that is an absolute lie, and Joe Biden has been one of the ones who's been most guilty of circulating it.
And I think we actually have a clip of that exchange now. Let's have a listen.
No, he did not. He said he walked out and he said, let's get this straight. He said there were very fine people in both groups. They're chanting anti-Semitic slogans, carrying flags. Are you aware of that? Okay.
Yeah. But, of course, that's actually not what Trump said at all.
Debunked even by left-wing sides.
Even Snopes, I think, has said that the full context is needed for that quote.
He actually qualified it. He said, of course, I'm not talking about the white supremacists. He was talking about the people who were protesting against tearing down these statues.
Yeah.
That was the debate that was going on at the time that prompted those comments. He also had a confrontation with a young woman, who went to him and said, how many genders are there, when he was walking? And he said, at least 3. And I think she asked him to name them or whatever. And then he grabbed her by the arm, which, again, if Trump did that, it would be just...
Now, what I want is for anybody out there who's involved with the Democratic National Committee debates, the next round of debates, I want the first question to all the candidates to be, how many genders are there? And we can start a bidding war to see just how many genders all the Democrats can talk it up to.
And just lastly on Biden, he has now twice called Theresa May Margaret Thatcher.
Yes.
Now, that is a great insult to the memory of Maggie.
She should be so lucky.